Hey guys, today's story is about a tiefling warlock that dismantles any and all tension by trying to flirt with a zombie beholder. This is a story from my latest campaign, and neither of the players in question are really involved in the campaign anymore. I know a lot of you will criticize my lack of action, but this was me DMing for a group of friends who all live together, and relationships are more or less split along the lines of this campaign, which will make sense. So I was reluctant to openly criticize one side of the tension while praising the other, because it's a delicate situation. I think I handled it as best as I could, and those that are still playing are still very much enjoying. The characters had been trekking across the continent for a fair few sessions. Their objective is the ancient Mind Flayer, city now ruin, that is the closest and most well-known entrance to the Underdark. It's been built up as the next major plot hook, world-ending Mind Flayer threat inbound, etc., etc. So I think it's a pretty cool place. The ruined city with ominous scribblings of ancient necromantic rituals the adventurers can hardly decipher. All of this was more or less lost on about half of the party, for whom I fear D&D is a chore, not a joy. But, whatever, that's their prerogative. I'm not going to kick them out, just yet at least, for not engaging, and I've been trying to throw things their way that are so thoroughly ignored I've more or less given up. They keep showing up, more or less, and the other half of the party are having a great time, so we'll keep going. They enter an enormous, ominous building that looks to have been some sort of coliseum, though long since abandoned, decaying, and generally a run-down mess. The Mind Flayer's underlings, undead gnoll witherlings, are chattering in gnoll together. The party engages, and wonder aloud how easy this fight seems. Little do they know, descending from the ceiling, hovering ominously downwards, dripping and stinking like a rotting corpse, appears a zombie beholder looming from the darkness. I don't know about you. That sounds, to characters used to dealing with almost exclusively humanoid threats, like the scariest thing ever. I was pretty proud of the description I gave, and the battle that ensued was tense, featuring our first major near-death experience. The stakes were high, things were tense. And then the tiefling warlock's turn rolled around.
Can I flirt with it? Lol.
Never mind the fact that this is an undead monstrosity, the likes of which you've never seen. Never mind the fact that this has literally been the character's only trait for many moons of playing. Never mind the fact that she unironically said lol out loud in in-person speech. This sole pronouncement more or less shattered the tension I'd done my best to build up. To give this moment some gravitas, to show this wasn't going to be an easy Underdark jaunt. Needless to say, I was frustrated, but we carried on. The beholder used its eye rays, which nearly wiped out the half-orc, who was saved by the Cling to 1 HP ability, and the mood around the table is either somber and apprehensive, or amused at what their friend posted on Facebook. But we still go on, and eventually the beholder succumbs. Please forgive me here for bending the rules into unrecognizability, but I let it be killed by the rogue, who had clambered to a higher vantage point, dumping a full bag of 1,000 ball bearings directly into its eye, because the alternative was letting one of the other players, a dragonborn who paid equally little attention, get the finishing blow, and that felt very undeserving. So, sue me. I artfully, or not, narrate how the beholder lets out a pained groan as the balls pour into its undefended eye, how the enchantment seems to fade, and the colossal mass of rotting flesh slowly begins to...
I start playing football with it.
The tiefling warlock, in a flash of inspiration, with an idea so brilliant, it simply cannot wait a moment longer. The dragonborn, who is a good friend, immediately agrees that this is the best idea that he's ever had, and the two spend the next 30 seconds or so, could be longer, Probably was, but it felt far longer than anything I could say that sounds reasonable. Narrating how they kick the beholder's corpse and play keepy-uppy with it. Nobody acknowledges them. Nobody says anything. I wait, semi-patiently, semi-exhaustively, for them to be quiet. When they eventually take a pause, I resume my narration, a bit more authoritatively, and they don't interrupt me again. Fortunately, this was all I had planned. So the session ended up there, with a rather anticlimactic level up, and the other players told me afterwards how bloody annoying it was of them. They, of course, remained oblivious to this frustration, but they never show up anyway, and we cope just fine without them. Well, guys, I suppose one thing that should be said here is everyone has different expectations. I'm not going to try to defend the Tiefling Warlock because there may be other things that really made them a crappy player, like them never showing up. But if everyone at the table wanted a tense game, and they agreed to this as well and just started making crappy jokes and whatnot, then no, that's completely inappropriate. But everyone wants something different from the game, and if someone wants, stupid jokes and fun and beer and pretzels and whatnot, that's perfectly fine. But you need to make sure that the party you're with all have the same expectations. But in any case, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a story that you'd like me to narrate, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.